Okay, so now let's have the next item. So, if ganito yung form, again, we usually represent yung ating u equal to x squared minus 3x. You can represent na yung ating denominator, yung x squared minus 3x lang, diretso na, pwedeng u is equal to x squared minus 3x and then differentiate, represent this in terms of u. Pero what I'll do before I represent this in terms of u is that mag-redefine muna ako. So, bakit kaya ganun yung gagawin ko? So, malalaman nyo later. Ang gagawin ko ngayon is I'll make the numerator the exact derivative of the denominator. So, alam naman natin na yung ating denominator, the derivative of the denominator would be 2x minus 3. And then, this form is not 2x minus 3, pero pwede natin siya ma-redefine in terms of that. So, kung gagawin natin siyang in terms of 2x minus 3, so, ibahin ko yung kulay. Pwede natin siyang gawin ganyan. Okay. Pero, alam naman natin na bawal tayo mag-change ng original equation. So, kung ginawa mo siyang ganyan, ano kaya yung pwede mong gawin sa original integrand para ibalik dun sa x minus 6? So, ang pwede mo gawin is, let's copy muna yung the rest of the equation. Okay. So, this one is different na from this one. Pero, we need to make this the same as the previous equation. So, gagawin natin dito ngayon is, lalagyan natin ito ng 1/2 una. Kasi, gawin natin kulay blue. Para makita niyo yung mga changes na ginawa. So, 1/2 siya kasi, pag minultiply natin to dun sa atin to x minus 3, di ba magiging x na lang siya. So, nagsasatisfy siya sa x dito. But, how about this 6? Kasi ito is negative 3/2. So, alam naman natin na kung may 1/2 tayo na multiplier dito, and we need 6 here. So, ibig sabihin nun, 12 dapat yung magiging sagot dito. So, with this, itong negative 3, babawasan pa natin siya ng 9. Okay, so minus 9 pa yan. Kasi, this makes sense na 2x minus 3, which is the derivative of this one, would be, yun yung isang group. And then, pag sinubtract natin ito ng 9, magiging 2x minus 12. Which, kapag win-half natin, is magiging x minus 6 na lang. Okay, so with this, wala tayong binago sa ating integrand. It's just that nire-define natin siya in terms of the exact numerator derivative. So with this, we can now let u is equal to x squared minus 3x. And then the derivative would be 2x minus 3 dx. Now let us represent this in terms of u. So, ito by the way, pag nire-write natin, ganito na siya, no? Magiging 1/2 the integral of 2x minus 3 divided by square root of x squared minus 3x dx. And then, this would be minus 1/2 times 9 divided by the square root of x squared minus 3x dx. Okay? So, yun. Ganun na yung magiging form niya. So, with this, ito pwede natin siyang i-use substitution. So, we have 1/2 the integral of u du. So, this is du. Kasi ito na yun exactly yung ating derivative. And then, this one would be square root of u. And now, this one, kung du siya, di ba, this is readily integrable naman na in terms of u. Now, we move on to this last term. So, if you want to look closely, pag sinubstitute natin to sa u, ang mangyayari lang dyan, hindi natin mapapalabas yung du dito. So, with this, we'll be evaluating this na walang u substitution. But ganon. Kasi itong gantong form, constant, and then meron ditong square sa ilalim, this one would obey the inverse trigonometric functions usually. Kasi what you have to do here is to complete the square. So, pag ganito, nakakita kayo ng gantong form, may constant sa taas, tanda nyo lang, constant, and then sa denominator is my square, x square. So, syempre, ibang case pag may mga cube na to the fourth. Pero kung siya ay highest degree niya is squared, then, most probably or almost all the time yun is inverse trigonometric function. So gagawin nyo kapag siya ay may squared and then hindi siya perfect square, so you have to complete the square of the denominator. So in this case, this portion, I'll complete the square, so magiging negative 1/2 the integral of 9 divided by this one would be the square root of x squared minus 3x plus. So, di ba, pag kinomplete natin yung square nito, divide lang natin itong 3 by 2 and then i-square natin siya, so magiging 9 over 4. Okay? And then, whatever you add, you subtract. So, minus 9 over 4. Okay? So, ano ba yung essence? Ba't ginagano natin yung add then subtract? So, ang goal lang nun is to make the equation the same. Kasi kapag halimbawa, nag-add tayo dito, syempre, hindi natin mag-subtract para maging x squared minus 3x lang yung ating denominator. So, we can now rewrite this in terms of minus 1 half, the integral of 9, and then the square root of, now this one becomes x minus 3 halves, okay, and then squared minus 9 over 4. Okay, so hopefully, nag-gets nyo siya kung ba't naging ganon. Diba, ito is perfect square na, so pwede mo nang i-take yung root nito and then x minus kung ano man yung kunin mo lang yung sign nito. Okay, so ito na yung ating magiging final form dito sa last term na ating i-integrate. So, ito muna, let us integrate this one. So, di ba this one becomes 1 half, and then this one is, di ba this one is 1 half the integral of u raised to negative 1 half du. Di ba, ayan yung form niya. So, if you'll be using the power rule here, so we have 1 half. Ang 1 half is nasa labas lang, so multiplier lang siya. And then, this one is u raised to negative 1 half plus 1, which becomes u raised to 1 half positive 1 half. And then, if we divide this by 1 half, we know quite well na this one will be multiplied to 2. Okay, so it cancels out this 1 half, and then we're left out with u raised to 1 half, which is actually equal to x squared minus 3x raised to 1 half, or square root. Let's just use square root. Okay, so sa unang term, ito yung kanyang sagot. And you can check this right away, no? Ito sa ating dito sa ating expression, 'di ba? If we try to differentiate this square root of x squared minus 3x, 'di ba, maging 1 half siya, and then multiply this by x squared minus x raised to negative 1 half, which becomes this denominator, and then multiply this with the derivative of the inside function, which is 2x minus 3. So, it makes sense na ito yung sagot niya. But how about the last term? Ito. So, ito naman, we need to integrate this naman. Alam naman natin na if we want to integrate this function, and then meron tayong ganito, so, there are two ways to solve this, no? Pwede nating i-direct integration to using fitting integrand. Kasi, this one is just an extension of yung ating mga let's say halimbawa plus minus dx over square root of x squared minus 1. So this one is an extension lang nun, kasi kung halimbawa yung x squared natin is hindi siya x squared, let's say ito ay x, kaya nito x minus 3 halves, pero naka-square pa rin siya. So basically same lang din siya, extension lang siya, kasi constant lang naman yung ating sinusubtract dun sa x. Pero syempre if this one is x minus any non-constant, no? Halimbawa x, though hindi ka na rin magpo-produce sa ganung solution if this one is hindi variable, hindi constant yung ating magiging sagot dito sa loob. But anyway, so let's just do it kapag na-encounter na natin. But in this case, this one is an extension. So, you can either do u substitution as well. So, ang gagawin mo naman dito is hindi ganito na, iba na siya. So, ang u mo dito magiging x minus 3 halves. Okay, so with that, magiging ano na lang to, u squared and then minus 9 over 4. So, same lang din naman yung concept niya. Or, yun nga, ganun siya. But in this case, I will not use u substitution kasi kita-kita naman na we can just use the fitting integrand for inverse trigonometric function right away. Now, so if you look closely and dun sa rules natin ng fitting integrand, this one fits on the hyperbolic cosine. And now, if we try to use that, alam naman natin na yung ating inverse hyperbolic cosine is wala siyang multiplier ng inverse operation dun sa kanyang a, dito sa a, sa 9 over 4. Kasi unlike the mga inverse tangent, we need to use 1 over a. Pero pag mga inverse cosine and then inverse hyperbolic cosine and then inverse hyperbolic sine, so wala siyang multiplier na a. So with this, let's just copy yung ating mga constants. So we have negative 1 half times 9 And then the derivative of the antiderivative would be the inverse hyperbolic cosine of course, x over a. In this case, it's x minus 3 halves divided by 3 halves. Okay, so this is your answer to the antiderivative of this function. And we can simplify this further. So if we want to do this, we can just make this negative 9 halves inverse hyperbolic cosine of 2x minus 3 all over 3. So, ba't naging ganon? Kasi, di ba this one will be multiplied to 2 over 3. Ito, di ba magiging reciprocal lang yan kasi nasa denominator siya. So, if you do that, then you'll be left out with this inside function. Okay? And you can always check this. Alam naman natin na yung derivative dito is ano lang, 1 over the square root of x squared, which is this one. So basically, ito lang yung kakalabasan mo, itong function na to, yung denominator, and then you just have to subtract 1 from this over minus 1, and then you multiply it with the derivative of this expression, which is times 2. So the final answer for this expression would be something like the square root of x squared minus 3x and then minus 9 halves inverse hyperbolic cosine of 2x minus 3 all over 3. Okay, so this is your final answer. And before, we've already, oops, sorry, we need to add the constant of integration. Okay, so before we used to solve this, we differentiated this and then nakuha natin yung first term. So let's try differentiating yung last term just to prove na our answer is also correct for the last term. So for this, the derivative, now this is your u in this expression, and then yung ating a would be just 1. So we can just have this 9 halves or negative 9 halves times the derivative would be something like 1 over the square root of x squared. So this, in this case, yung x natin would be this whole expression, 2x minus 3 and then 3 squared, and then minus 1 times the derivative of 2x minus 3 over 3. So this one, the derivative would be 2/3. Okay, so kita naman natin na yun ay 2/3. So again, if you try to solve for this, diba, this one would be negative 3. Okay, so maging negative 3 siya. And then, this one is maging ganito siya. We can have here something like 2x minus 3 squared and then minus 9 over this one is over 9. Okay, so we can extract 9 here, diba? We can extract 9. Alam naman natin na pwede natin gawin yon, yung square root of 9, and then kung extract natin yung square root of 9 from here, mapupunta siya sa taas, so magiging 9 yung ating ibabaw. So with this, we can just say na magiging 9 over the square root of 2x minus 3 squared and then minus 9. Now I'll just be using this expression naman to simplify further, kasi yung ating expression is given in terms of x squared minus 3x, which we need to simplify further. So with this, we have 9, and then in this case we have the square root of 2x squared minus this, I think this will be 12x, kasi 3 times 2x would be 6x, and then times 2, so that would be 12x, and then plus 9 and then minus 9. So with this, we can cancel out 9. And then if you want to factor out 2 from this expression, then we can do it. So we have 9, and then we have square root of 2 times, actually it should be 4, sorry, kasi 2x squared, diba? So we can factor out 4 from here. So we have 4, and then this one is x squared minus 3x. Okay, and then this 4 will be going outside ng ating radical sign, so this becomes 2 in this case. So pag naging 2 na siya, ito na lang matitira sa atin. Okay, so, and of course negative. So in short, we have obtained the same expression as this one, 9 over square root of x squared minus 3x, and then 1/2. So yun, So, in short, tama yung ating sagot dito. Okay, so the only way that you can check for your answer is to differentiate. And madali lang naman mag-differentiate basta sundan nyo lang yung rules na ginagawa natin before, no? So, yan. That's it for letter E. Now, for letter F, we have the integral of cosine of 7x sine of 5x dx. Now, I want you to browse over the next page. Actually, that pala, diniscuss ko muna to before I do integration. Pero, sige, let's just discuss it while I'm solving. So, on the next page, meron tayo diyang summary of basic integration techniques. And usually, ito lang yung gagawin natin whenever we encounter basic problems. Siyempre, iba to kapag kapag medyo complicated na. But as you can see, there are at least 5 steps, major steps that we have to do when we encounter such cases. Now this falls under rule number 3, which gives you the sine A cosine B. So yung nasa gitna. Kasi 'di ba, even if this one is cosine, kasi 'di ba yung form nito, let's just have this. Yung form nito kasi is cosine A and then sine B. But we know very well na ang ating product or multiplication, sorry, product. Yung ating multiplication is a commutative property. So with this, we can just say na yung ating sine B is also equal to, yung cosine A sine B is also equal to sine B cosine of A. So if that is the case, then this one would be equal, based on the rule, no? We could just say that this one is 1/2 and then sine. So remember, since dun sa rule is nauna yung A sa B, so kung unahin natin yung B dito sa A, then therefore this one would be something like B minus A, and then sundan lang natin yung procedure, so that will be 1/2 and then sine A plus B. So importante itong B minus A na to. Kasi what we had here is something like nauna yung ating sign dito sa case na to. So, we have to interchange this just to follow the formula, which in this case, kung ano yung nasa sign, yun yung unahin natin nasa sa subtraction na gagawin natin. Okay. So, now I can rewrite the integral. So, ito is another process of redefining dito pagkaganto yung ating mga form. Sin A, sin B, cosine A, cosine B, as well as yung ating sin A, cosine B. So, syempre, nag-interchange yung dalawang yan. Now, we proceed with the redefining. So, this becomes 1/2. So, yung 1/2, ilalabas ko na yan. 1/2. And then, we have sine. So, unahin natin yung A. So, that would be 5x minus 7x. And then, the operation is positive. So, plus, hindi positive. So, we have here sine again. But in this case, this one is 5x plus 7x. Though ito, napagbaliktad ko na siya kasi based dito. Kasi usually pag add naman, commutative naman yan. So, it doesn't matter kung anong unahin mo. As well as this one, no? Kahit mauna mo siyang isulat kaysa dito sa isa, pares lang yung maaray mo. Basta don't forget itong inside ng unang sign or nung one sign function na dapat unahin mo yung inside function ng sign before dun sa cosine. Okay. So, yun lang. Kasi remember, sine is an odd function. So, if you have, let's say, for example, di ba, ang una dyan is negative yung magiging sagot mo. So, basically, magiging negative sagot mo. But, if it is positive, then positive makukuha mo. So, basically, iba na yung sagot. Pero kung ito yung cosine, it doesn't matter kung ano yung mauna kasi sabi nga natin, cosine is an even function. Pero pag sine, medyo strict tayo sa arrangement ng ating mga angle. So with this, we can now lagyan pa natin ng bracket to. Okay, dx. Okay, so is it possible to integrate na? So syempre, simplify muna natin yan. 1/2 the integral of sine. This one is sine of negative 2x, okay, and then plus sine of 12x. So, I hope alam nyo na kung paano to integrate kasi ito naman ay napakasimple lang i-integrate. So, with this, the antiderivative, let's start tayo sa first term. So, the antiderivative of this first term, okay, so this becomes 1/2. Lagi may 1/2 kasi nasa labas siya ng integral sign. Remember, any constant na nasa labas ng integral sign, lagi mo siya i-multiply dun sa antiderivative nung sagot sa loob. Kasi this one is a multiplier na, no? Kaya minsan nalalabas ko na siya sa integral. Pero kahit ipasok mo siya, kasama pa rin siya sa multiplier kasi multiply mo lang naman yung sagot mo sa 1/2. So, either way, it depends on you kung paano mo siya mas gustong isulat. So, 1/2, and then the antiderivative of sine of negative 2x would be, remember, when you're trying to find the antiderivative, and your antiderivative would give you the term co. So your antiderivative will automatically be negative. So in this case, that would be negative cosine of negative 2x, and therefore since meron tayong operation na multiplication sa x which is negative 2, so we need to inverse that, so that would be multiplied to negative 1/2. Okay, so does this make sense? Because if we try to rewrite this, diba? I mean, sige, later on na lang sa kanan natin. I-differentiate muna natin sin 12x. So with this, we have minus cosine of 12x and then times 1 over 12. Okay, so plus c. So, gawin ko is, try muna natin i-simplify na sa loob na expression. So with this, we have, I think, 1/2 cosine of negative 2x and then minus 1 over 12 cosine of 12x. Oops, pangat sulat. 12x plus c. Okay. So, ang gawin natin, try natin i-differentiate agad to para ma-check natin kung tama ba yung sagot natin. Saka tayo mag-simplify pa if possible. So, 1/2 cosine of negative 2x. If we try to differentiate, diba, 1/2 times negative sine of negative 2x times negative 2, which cancels out yung ating negative sign, which gives you the value of sine of negative 2x, as well as this one, di ba, negative sine 12x to, then times 12. So, therefore, tama yung ating sagot. And we can actually expand this 1/2 or distribute the 1/2. So, we have 1/4, or I think the best way to do this is to, I think I'll be factoring out yung ating ating LCD here, o LCD ba yun? O LCN. So, di ba sa 1 over 2 and then sa 1 over 12, so alam naman natin na yung mas mababa doon is 1 over 12. So, I'll try to factor out 1 over 12 here. Okay? So, alam naman natin na that would be 1/2 times 1 over 12. Okay, and then kung 1 over 12 pinactor out ko dito sa 1/2, this becomes 6. Diba? 6 cosine of negative 2x, and then minus, this one becomes cosine of 12x plus c. Okay, and then this one, this becomes 1 over 24. Okay, so yun yung ating multiplier ngayon sa labas. So 1 over 24. Okay, so this is your final answer. Now this cosine of negative 2x. If your answer is something like itong term na to, if your answer would be something like 6 cosine of 2x, that will still be correct. Kasi remember, ang ating cosine is an even function. So even if your inside function becomes negative, your answer is supposed to be the same lang. Remember, yun yung ating behavior ng ating even functions, no? That's why it would just produce the same result. But then again, if your answer would be directly something like this, medyo magka-question ako kung ba't naging ganito yung sagot, knowing naman na supposedly hindi siya dapat ganun yung lalabas eh. But kasi kung galing siya dito, kung naging positive 2x to, your answer would have been negative outside function and then 2x. The cosine 2x would be correct, but of course your sign here would be different, which makes it incorrect. That's why you have to make sure na nasusunod tong rule na to, and then after lang mag-antiderivative or mag-integral, mag-anti-differentiation, so dun lang yung pwede natin na ma-consider tong other properties ng ating mga trigonometric function, which in this case, pag cosine, you can just eliminate yung inyong negative and then use the positive. But I'm fine with this negative kasi dun mo kitang-kita kung saan siya nanggaling eh. But if your answer would but if you want to rewrite that in terms of positive, then wala namang problema doon. Okay, so this is how you solve for the antiderivative of letter E. I mean letter F pala yun. Okay, So, let's try doing yung ating G. Iba namang color para ano, baka ano na kayo eh. Baka sawa na kayo sa kulay yellow. So, let's have orange naman ngayon. Actually, ginagamit ko lang is matitingkad na kulay kasi black yung background natin eh. Share ko lang. Actually, tip yon sa mga ano, mag-a-arts dito, diba? Usually kasi may mga ginagawa kayong mga drawing, so ganun. Remember yung mga contrast nyo sa kulay. Basta pag black background, gamitin nyo lagi yung mga matitingkad. Parang luminous colors. Yan. Pag naman ano, white, syempre yung mga medyo darker. Okay. So this one, this is our letter G. Now, you can pause this video and then solve for your own muna. Because I think you're able to see something here. Kasi medyo ano siya, medyo simple lang naman siya example. And then go back here kung medyo meron na kayong idea kung ano ba yung gagawin natin dito. But kung wala naman, edi we'll just proceed with the process. No? So, I hope you did something, no? Pero in this case, I'll try to do it na. Okay. So, this form, x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1, we know quite well na hindi naman ito perfect square trinomial. I mean, perfect cube of a binomial. So, hindi naman siya ganun, no? Kasi it should have been 1, 3, 3, 1 in this process kung alam niyo yung Pascal's triangle. But we still have to check the factors of this one. And remember, we can do synthetic division here, but alam naman natin na binigyan ko na kayo ng procedure sa paghahanap ng roots using your calculator. And I'll be using that to find exactly the roots of this x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 1 kasi we're done with all this synthetic division, pang high school na siya. So let's move forward na lang dun sa basic procedure. I mean, dun sa ating easiest procedure ng finding the roots given naman na gumagamit tayo ng calculator. So, with this case, I'll try using my calculator to find the roots. So, you go to equation and then you select number 4. Ito dun sa mga ano, may mga kasyo. Basta you have to select the ax cubed function.
A few moments later.
Okay, so with this, ating roots ay x sub 1 is equal to 1. And then yung isa natin is imaginary as well as yung isa is negative imaginary. So, alam naman natin na if this is the case, then therefore, yung ating isang factor is x minus 1. With this knowledge, we can now divide this by x minus 1. And then, alam natin na yung magiging sagot dito should be the new, something like, numerator natin. Kasi magka-cancel out yung x minus 1 from the numerator, diba? And denominator. Let's just use this to do division. You can use synthetic division if you want. Pero since this one is x minus 1 lang naman, same lang din naman yung ating magiging ano dito. Same lang din yung magiging ano natin. I think time of solving using synthetic or long division. So, this becomes x cubed minus x squared. Then, subtract natin. So, okay. Now, knowing this would be 0, we can just have this x minus 1. So, this becomes x minus 1. And then, dividing this by x. So, this becomes minus, plus 1. So, this becomes x minus 1, which in terms becomes 0. So, therefore, our factor is equal to x squared plus 1 and then x minus 1. So, this is equal to x squared plus 1, x minus 1. Okay? And you can recheck that by multiplying using FOIL method. So, this becomes x cubed, and then this one is plus x, and then minus x squared minus 1. Okay, so this makes perfect sense now. And then dx. Now you can cancel out x minus 1. and then you'll be left out with x squared plus 1. Now, ito, di natin kailangan ng yung substitution kasi kita-kita naman na we can readily integrate this. So, if you want to integrate that, then therefore, the answer should be x cubed over 3 plus x plus c. Okay? Now, if you try to differentiate this, syempre, makukuha nyo dyan is yung x squared plus 1. Okay? And this is your your integrand na makukuha. So, baka sabihin nyo, sir, hindi naman siya kamukha nito ha, yung x squared plus 1 ito. And yes, hindi talaga siya kamukha. Kasi, na-redefine na siya eh. Same lang yan, pero we need to redefine this integrand just to give this x squared plus 1 first, which para mo kasi sinabi na you have to produce 1 over 12, I mean, let's say 2 over 12, parang ganyan yung kailangan mong i-produce, pero nung in-antiderivative mo siya, ni-integrate mo, ang lumabas lang is 1 over 6. So, diba, if you would be saying na this one is not equal to this one, then mali ka if that's the case, kasi this one is the simplified version of this 2 over 12. Which in turn, pares lang naman talaga sila. So, there are cases na ganito yung makukuha niya pag find niyo yung antiderivative ng ating sagot. This is the simplified form, but whenever you have obtained the simplified form, know that that is already the correct answer as long as your simplified form is correct as well. Okay, so yun. And that's it, I think, for letter G. Diba? Simple lang kasi siya eh. Hindi siya ganun ka-complicated. And I think that's one of the easiest examples here. But let's move forward na lang sa letter H. Okay. Now, for H naman, this one, I hope na medyo nagagets nyo yung mga procedures na ginagawa natin kung how we try to devise techniques in solving for each of them. Kasi usually talaga, depende yan sa item natin. Kaya there are cases na mapapansin nyo, ba't ako bigla nag-long division, ba't ako minsan nag-use substitution. So, there is no specific way kung kailan mo talaga siya gagamitin. We do use substitution for those integrand na pwede nating after differentiation, nakukuha natin yung derivative na pwede natin siyang express in terms of u, yung lahat ng variable na pwede natin siyang ipasok sa fitting integrand. Pero if that is the case wherein we let u some equal to a certain function and then hindi naman natin pwedeng integrate kahit na nagawa na natin siyang u. So walang sense, 'di ba? So that is possibly not the best option that you have to do. But either way, kung nagsisimula pa lang naman kayo, you can always do trial and error. You can always alam niyo na yung mag-try ng ibang procedure just to make and just to have the correct answer, no? Kasi sabi ko nga again, yung integration kasi this is not just a matter of practice. Ito ay a matter of familiarization. So once you encounter problems na kamukhang ganon, that's the only case na parang marirealize nyo na ganito yung supposedly gagawin. Take for example this one. You might be thinking na because meron tayong radical sign dun sa denominator and I used to have this naglalet ng u natin equal to the denominator. But in this case, if you'd be looking closely, alam naman natin yung ating numerator is x plus b quantity squared. So there is no way na mapalabas natin yung ating derivative ng denominator dun sa numerator. So with that, alam natin agad na u substitution is not the best option here. But as we look closely at the numerator, kung makapansin nyo, naka-square yung ating numerator. Why not expand muna yung ating numerator and see what happens, no? So in this case, I'll be expanding that. So this becomes a squared x squared plus 2abx then plus b squared. Okay. So if this is the case, then we can divide this by we can divide this by x squared of x and then dx. Now remember, what makes this special is that kung titingnan mo yung terms natin individually by each numerator denominator, you can actually rewrite this separately, each term. So pwede mo siyang i-rewrite ito, first term, and this one is the second term, and this one is the third term. So ano ba yung sinasabi ko? So diba we can rewrite this in terms of the integral of a squared x squared. Actually yun yung parang pinakaunang property ng ating integration. So pwede ganyan, di ba? and then just use the operation. So plus the integral of 2abx, and then square root of, over x squared of x, and then plus integral, I forgot bx, plus b squared over x squared of x dx. Okay? So, by the way, kung mapapansin nyo, naglalagay ako ng ganon sa mga dulo ng ating square root symbol. That only means kasi na hanggang dun yung ating square root. Kasi, for example, meron tayong gantong form, no? X square root of, tas may 4 dito, no? 3 minus 4. Diba, literally, ito naman is multiplied. Multiplied usually yan. Pero, kung halimbawa wala akong nilagay na ganon, parang baka maisip niya, baka extended to, kasi ba't naman ganon. Pero kung may mga ganyan, ibig sabihin nun, so hanggang dun lang siya. So basically, parang mas nagbibigay siya ng, parang nag-i-imply siya na mas clear na operation dito sa ating mga radical signs. Anyway, ano lang naman yun, preference mo lang naman yun. Pwede naman hindi kayo maglagay. Okay, nasanay lang din ako na maglagay na gano'n. Though dito, hindi mo masyado makikita kasi ano yan eh, makapal yung pen. Pero, ayun nga. Tsaka isa lang naman to, square root of x lang. Anyway, so, napaghiwalay-hiwalay na natin, no? And then, can we actually integrate this? So, the answer is yes, individually, no? Pero, before we integrate, let's just, siguro, simplify muna yung mga ma-simplify natin. Kasi this one is x squared, and then this one is x times square root of x, which gives you x raised to 3 halves. X raised to negative 3 halves. So, if you multiply this negative 3 halves to 2, so, alam naman natin na mag-a-add silang dalawa. So, if that is the case, then 2 minus 3 halves would give you positive 1 half. Okay, and you can also try to rationalize if that's one of the procedures that you can do. So, if you try to multiply this by square root of x, then x squared will cancel out. So, this one becomes a squared x squared dx. Okay, x squared, sorry. This one becomes a squared square root of x dx. Okay? And then plus, so if you try to, if you try to rationalize this one, no? So this one becomes square root of x, and then this one is x squared. So this leaves you the square root of x over x, which alam naman natin na kapag meron ganon, this one is raised to negative 1 half. So in this case, we have 2ab and then x raised to negative 1 half dx. Okay, so you can always try to do something like 1 minus 3 halves in this case, and that should result to 1 half. Of course, ikakalkyo ko kasi baka mali ako ng mali ako ng subtract. Alam niyo naman dito, kahit pag engineer ka na, basta may kalkyo ka, kailangan kahit 1 plus 1, ikakalkyo mo pa yan. Baka naiba na kasi. Anyway, so plus, and then this one, we can just simply write this as b squared times x raised to negative 3 halves dx. Okay, and now we can integrate all of this. Let's just use another color just to give emphasis to the answer. So this one is a squared times yung square root of x, anong ulit yung kanyang maging antiderivative. So in this case, that will be plus 1. So that will be x raised to 3 halves and then times 2/3. Okay, so ito yung kanyang first term. Second term would be 2ab. So, kopyahin nyo lang lagi yung constant, no? And then, x raised to negative 1 half plus 1 would be positive 1 half. And then, of course, this is multiplied to 2. Okay. And then, plus, the last term would be b squared and then x. Now, this one, if you try to add 1 here, alam naman natin na this one is negative 3 halves. So, in this case, meron pa rin siyang negative 1 half. And then if you try to divide this by negative 1 half, this is multiplied to negative 2. Of course, plus c. So, we're defining. So, simplifying all of these expressions, so we have 2/3 a squared x raised to 3 halves plus 4ab x raised to 1 half, and then minus 2 b squared x raised to negative 1 half plus c. And this is your final answer. Simplified final answer. As you can see, check nyo yung sagot natin and yung ating original integrand. Di ba? Parang ang layo-layo na. Ito yung sinasabi natin na parang, parang sometimes pag integration, sobrang layo na yung nagiging sagot natin compared sa integrand. And wala nang problema doon kasi sinusunod lang natin yung procedures natin for integration. And you can always differentiate that just to make sure that your answer is adhering to any rule and adhering to your simplified version of the integrand. Okay? So, swerte tayo pag mga cases like this, no? But how about for the next item? Let's try solving that, no? And if you have any questions, syempre, minsan kasi pag gantong nasa screen ako, minsan namamali din ako ng antiderivative or ng add. So, please inform me kapag meron ng kaganon kasi baka malito rin yung iba eh. Sometimes kasi, pag may nagsosolve and then bigla nagkamali ng solve, yun yung times na hindi mo na masusundan yung yung solution. Sa tataka, ba't ganon? Tapos yung question na yun, magpa-pile up yun na, ay baka mali lang ako ng gets. So, yun, hanggang sa di mo na talaga na gets. So, make sure you ask question, especially dun sa mga redefining natin, sa mga simplifying. Kasi, tao lang din, minsan talaga nalilito rin ako sa mga Kasi iba yung iba yung screen, kaya sa whiteboard, mas mas parang, di ba, alam naman natin, minsan pag gagawa kay essay, di ba, usually. So, essay, ganyan. Tapos, di mo alam, na-print mo na, saka mo makikita yung mali spelling, mali ano. Kasi, ewan ko, iba yung screen eh. Kasi minsan parang tiwala tayo sa, na may mag-check, no? Halimbawa, sa Word, tiwala tayo may mag-check dyan kasi may autocorrect. Pero, yun nga, same lang din dito, no? Kasi sa whiteboard dati, nasanay ako na parang may kasabay yung students nagsasolve. So, sometimes, pag nag-add ako ng fraction tas mali. So, syempre nakikita nila yan. Pero dito, since wala naman akong kasama dito nagsosolve, ewan ko lang din, baka meron kayo nakikita sa likod ko. Pero wala, since yun, ako lang dito. So, ako lang din yung hahanap kung saan ako nagkakamali. Anyway, so let's proceed with the next item. So, letter I na tayo.